Okay, so in this problem it says the time it takes a driver to deliver a pizza is uniformly distributed between 9 and 15 minutes. So the key word here is we know that this is uniformly distributed. And uniform means equal across. So it's equally likely your pizza shows up in 9 minutes all the way up to 15 minutes. Sorry about my horizontal bar. Here, I'll redo that. I can do better than that. All right, so there's my distribution. There's the horizontal bar. We know this is equally distributed between 9 and 15 minutes. So the first thing you need to do here is understand which type of distribution is it. Is it a normal? Is it a uniform? After that, what we're going to do is ask yourself, do you know the height of the uniform distribution? What am I talking about in terms of height? We're looking right here. And I do not know that value yet. So we're going to work to get that. So step one is if you're given a uniform distribution problem, you don't know the height, you got to find h. All right. So a couple things we need to know about this. You need to know the area of a rectangle. So the area of a rectangle is equal to length times the height. You might hear base times height. You might hear length times width. I'm just going to go with length times height. You also need to know that in our original box, not in the question we're going to ask at the end, but if you don't know the height, you do know that the area of a uniform distribution is equal to 1. So area is 1. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to say, okay, I don't know the height, but can I find that length? And when we go down to our values that it's normally distributed, we can take a look and how can we find this length? Well, what we can do is we can subtract the big number minus the small number. It's kind of like finding a range. And we get that this has a length of 6. So the length is 6, the area is 1. Now we're going to just plug those numbers into this formula right here. So we're going to get 1 is equal to 6 times h. How do I get that h by itself? Well, this is a simple linear equation, right? So I take a look on this right-hand side, and this says 6 times h. So the opposite of multiplication is division. We're going to divide both sides by 6. The 6's cancel out on the right-hand side, and we get 1/6 is equal to h. Okay, so I've calculated that height. I know it is 1/6. And that was step one. Now we can finally answer the question. Let's read the second sentence. It says, what's the probability that the driver delivers your food in under 12 minutes? You need to be careful here because under 12 minutes is going to indicate that the time it takes the pizza to get delivered is less than 12, right? Under is less than. So, I think we're done with this here, so I'm going to erase that. What we're trying to find now is we're going to try to find the probability that the pizza is delivered in less than 12 minutes. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put 12 right here on our distribution. The reason we needed to find this height is the probability is the exact same thing as this area. Now I shaded to the left because it was supposed to be, remember, less than 12. And now we're going to use the same trick we did before with the area, but we now know this length of this orange box I just drew is 9 minus 12 is 3. And we know the height is 1/6. So we calculate that probability by calculating the area. So we're going to do length times width, which is 3 times 1/6. Whoops. And when you do 3 times 1/6, listen, I know a lot of people will get 1/6 as 0 or 0.083, I think is what it is as a decimal. Just if you have something that gives you a repeating decimal, sometimes it's a little easier to leave it as a fraction because when I multiply 3 by 1/6, our final answer is the probability is 1/2.